Welcome to Not My Favorite. We'll keep that part in too, because I'm Derek Humphrey, your host, here with my illustrious producer Scott Hall.
Hello.
We were talking just before this started about how I look like shit. I was looking at videos from like the last couple of podcasts, and I've gotten so unhealthy over the last like 6 years. Even in spite of the fact that I work out like pretty regularly. I'm going to the doctor tomorrow.
For what?
Just my general health.
That's not like, did you,
I have several issues going on. I have several issues. One being fat. The fat part is actually the easiest to stop. I figured out of all my addictions, eating is the most pervasive one.
Yeah.
In fact, I would say that I've had at various times in my life a very bad weed habit.
Yeah.
And it was somewhat in service because it's like, I can't wait to get high and eat food.
I know.
And so, yeah. So as I'm not a drug guy.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm really not. I mean, occasionally I like them at concerts or whatever, but even that, I'm kind of aging out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's unsustainable.
It is unsustainable. My favorite band in the world is Tool, and they're playing the Sphere in Vegas at some point. And I said that would be a trip I would make to Vegas, would be to go see Tool at the Sphere. I would do drugs there. And I was like, that's like a $5,000 weekend.
It was worth it?
No, I haven't done it yet. No.
But I'm saying, like, you think it would be worth it?
No, I don't. The thing is too, is like, cause their whole show now is a lot of like the animation and stuff, you know, and the graphics and everything, because they're 60.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like, they're like my Pink Floyd,
Mm-hmm.
I saw them in like 1995.
Yeah.
In 1997, I saw 97 was their heyday. It's like, I should just live with that. And I should just continue to be an old man at this point, you know, and enjoy my stuff. And I'll tell you one good thing about not doing drugs, is that I have much more lucid dreams.
Yeah.
And I had a crazy dream last night. I don't know why I felt compelled to talk about it today, but last night I had this dream. Do you have lucid dreams? Do you have like very vivid dreams that you could remember?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Last night I had this very vivid dream that I had a relationship, like a forbidden relationship with a woman in Vietnam. like are
you a GI?
No, here's the thing. It wasn't in relation to the military. It wasn't in relation to my wife likes to joke that I have a quote unquote Asian fetish. And,
quote unquote.
And it's not true. It's just hot chicks. It's just like,
I just like when she paints her face white and wears a kimono.
Yeah. I like chicks who bind their feet.
Yeah.
No, it has nothing to do with that at all. Like it's just that like I don't know. It's just hot. It doesn't matter. Like, I'm not racist in that regard where I'm like, oh, just Asians or whatever. I think culturally, because like they're quiet and my wife's so loud that like, sure, there's an appeal there. The opposite of what I currently have, which is just this loud, vocal feminist.
Your wife says you have an Asian fetish and your defense is worse. No, I just like them because they shut up occasionally.
I just like them because they're quiet.
That's so funny.
We have there's this woman who lives in our building, and she's got this cute little dog. And the woman's like, she's in her 40s, probably late 30s, early 40s. She has kind of a girl next door kind of vibe. Not really. I don't know. She's a neighbor. She's a plain Jane lady.
Yeah.
And she's got this cute dog. And my wife jokingly was like, she was like, why, she's like, oh, I bet you're having an affair with Tucker's mom because the dog's named Tucker. And I'm like, I don't even know Tucker's mom's name.
Yeah.
I just know Tucker. Like, I know the dog. I don't even know this woman. If I were to have an affair with anybody, it would be the lesbian Asian couple who live above us, because they are like, one just stays pregnant. It's like, yeah, they're just this lesbian couple that just like they've just been popping out kids.
How many they have?
They have 2 now, but I think they're working on another one.
What kind of baby they have?
One looks kind of Asian and the other one looks like pretty white. And I was like, I could have done that for you. You know? Anyway, these are all jokes. It's like, I love my wife or whatever, but in this dream, I had to travel to Vietnam, and I'm assuming it's Vietnam, a place I've never been to Asia. And I'm assuming it's Vietnam based on the topography of it, everything. It looked very like Platoon or Born on the 4th of July, you know, kind of like this like brush jungle area. And it was a forbidden love. It was like a forbidden relationship on both sides. Like we both had to do, I think it was, this is the 3rd week in a row we talked about Django Unchained, but I think it was like inspired by like, we had to like pretend like we didn't know each other. Like Django in the movie has to pretend he doesn't know that the woman he's after. They have to pretend they don't know each other. And so me and this woman had to like kind of pretend we didn't know each other. And and the government or the people were punishing me by making me stand on this like almost kind of pallet.
Yeah.
But the pallet had moving sticks so that you're constantly having to adjust where you're like the sticks would like roll. Yeah. Right. And they roll and shift to a different position and you'd have to like move your feet with it. And in my dream, it was very vivid and I could actually see how it works. I am terrible in engineering and math.
Yeah.
I would have no idea how to put this together. But in my dream, I was doing Inception. You know, I was like building this thing and I couldn't get a grip on it or whatever. I couldn't it was like a torture device, basically.
Yeah.
It's like you're standing in place, but you're moving constantly.
A Mr. Beast game.
Yeah. And if like you fall, they just beat the shit out of you kind of thing. But it wasn't really aggressive either. It was just a constant thing of motion. And this wasn't like a young Vietnamese woman either. This was like a lady who, you know, she lived in Queens. It looked like she would own a shop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like, or, you know, like somebody's mom or something. And I have no idea what it means whatsoever. No earthly clue.
Why was it forbidden? Do you know? Did you get any of that?
I think just because they're racist. Because the Vietnamese were, it could have been North Korea.
Another reason to like Asian women.
Yes. Yeah. No, and it was yeah, it was Mom Donnie's wife. She's so racist. And I don't know why I had this dream. I've never had a dream like this in my entire life. I've never been to Asia. I don't have an inclination to free anybody from anything. It was like she was like a political prisoner or something like that. Anyways, it's great to have dreams though, because for a long time when I was on drugs, I wouldn't say odd drugs, when I was like a regular drug user, I didn't have them. I didn't have dreams forever. And then I remember I had a real bad habit of it going into a vacation with my wife over the last few years. I was just in a real bad, like I'm popping edibles and smoking weed or whatever. And then I quit. I was completely sober. And for like the first 72 hours of our trip, I didn't even get really sleep because I was dreaming so intensely that it was like making me feel like I was awake the whole time.
It was like stressful.
Yeah, it was stressful. Yeah. I would wake up after we'd be asleep for 8 hours. And I'd wake up and I wouldn't feel rested because the dreams were so intense. And so, yeah. And this one wasn't quite that bad. And I don't know. Maybe I was thinking about it. Maybe I had the dream. My wife woke me up when she was getting ready for work, not on purpose, but maybe I dreamed of a woman who wouldn't wake me up. I talked about this with somebody recently, and it's just like my wife. I love my wife to death, and she is an inspiration for me, and makes me feel like a complete piece of shit. by being the most supportive person ever who's doing the most for herself and her own career. My wife gets up at 6 a.m. every day, and she goes and teaches at a very prestigious school in New York City. And she gives 100% to that job. She gives 100% to the parents. She does a much better job than her peers and coworkers. It makes me, I like to point it out as my arguments against socialism. And is that everybody gets paid the same, even though you're working way fucking harder. And then she comes home and then she's working on her PhD, you know. Like yesterday, I woke up, I took the dog for a walk.
I know.
And then I got added to Punch Up Live, which was a great platform for comedians to sell tickets and stuff like that. I worked on that for like an hour or so, and I edited the pod, or I gave you timestamps for the podcast. I was like, oh man, I need a nap. I'm gonna watch some cartoons in bed with my dog and then take a nap. You know what I mean? And then she comes home and is like grading and reading. And I'm like, well, I got to go do a spot.
Yeah. Well, can I ask you a question? Because I feel like that a lot of the time too, with just like editing, whatever. Anytime you have to make a creative decision or anything. But I do feel like, not to take anything away from your wife or anybody like that, but like there are people that do manual labor. And I've done manual labor. And like around here, it's much easier for me to set up set up for a show, or mount something, or like do whatever.
Yeah.
That's like systematic rather than like having to sit and make decisions.
Yes.
Way more taxing.
Yeah. There are often times when I don't feel like doing that sort of stuff that I will just clean the entire house.
Exactly.
And my wife pointed out it's a diversion from doing the work that I have to do. And I was like, you're probably right, but at least I accomplished something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, I don't really feel that bad about it.
Yeah.
You know, well, the reason I bring this up is like, partially reason the drug aspect about things is like comedy is a very depraved business.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and this weekend I was in Atlantic City.
Okay.
And
nice.
I was doing the Atlantic City Comedy Club. It's owned by New York Comedy Club. Staff is phenomenal. Club is great. They treat us so good. I have no complaints whatsoever. And I got a hotel.
Sounds like you're about to complain.
I know. Well, not about them in any capacity. And it was, the first show was a 4-man show. The second show was a 3-man show. Now, over the last few weeks, I've been talking with with an associate, somebody who works in the industry. They used to work for a big talent agency. They went and did their own thing for a while. Now they're looking to get back into the business. And they want to represent me at this talent agency.
Okay.
Which I'm really stoked about. They live in the area. I met them at a show opening for my buddy, and they were just like kind of enamored with me, which I love. And they're super great. I got nothing bad to say. And they told me, if you ever come to Jersey, let us know. So I texted them. It's like, hey, I'm coming to Atlantic City. So they came and hung out. They came to the 9 o'clock show. I had 2 shows on Saturday, 7 and a 9. And it was a 3-man show, the second show. First comic goes up, does a ton of crowd work. Second comic comes up, and both these comics are great. Yeah. Both these comics are very funny people. Second comic goes up there and is just crowd works everybody. Goes around to like each table and is like insulting them. Real Rickles style.
Yeah.
Which I love. But by the time I get up there, man, it is like a feral room.
Yeah, of course. They're part of it.
Yeah. And my voice wasn't working. And it's like they were loud. You know, they were really projecting it. I can't project my voice. So it's 2 comics in a row going, hey, yeah, look at you. And then it's me going, hey, what's up, everybody? It's RFK on the mic. If you heard my episode last week, it was like a projection of that. It was really bad. And so I'm up there and I'm like not getting anything back from these guys. I'm just doing jokes. I'm not getting anything back from the audience. And at one point in time, because Atlantic City is a big go-to spot for Philly people, I just went off on Philadelphia. I was just like, you know what? These jokes aren't landing because most of you are from Philadelphia, and Philadelphia is full of nothing but stupid losers. And just was like, just started ripping on the entire room. Like people were like, I'm like, fuck Philadelphia, fuck your bell, fuck your Rocky statue, fuck the Eagles,
Yeah.
fuck the Sixers. And they just start booing. And I'm like, give it to me.
Yeah.
Give it to me. Because like I just wanted a reaction
Of course.
out of them, you know? They ended up liking it. But in the moment, I was like, and then I go back to my jokes, and they did not like the jokes again. I was like, and the set was just kind of mid until the end. And I was like, well, these jokes are really smart. And if you're not from Philadelphia, you probably got them.
Yeah.
You know? And then I started insulting Philadelphia again. Ended the set. And the person who came to see me with their partner were in the front row. And I was like, well, you saw me crush a theater before a couple weeks ago full of 1,000 people, and now you just saw me do like the worst show of my life in front of 200, you know.
Yeah.
And they were like, no, you were great, and I was like, no, I wasn't, you know. I'm very critical of myself.
Yeah.
And so we went and hung out in the casino afterwards, and I'm not a big gambler, I'm not a big drinker, I'm boring now. I'm old and I'm boring. And people were coming up to me and being like, because I was wearing that tracksuit, so I was very recognizable. People are coming up to me like, hey, you were great, you were awesome, or whatever. And I was like, oh, well, thank you, I guess it wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? So me and one of the people who came out were sitting at a couple of slot machines, and we just decided to play some slots.
Okay.
Right now, inside of the Tropicana Casino, they have a Carmine's restaurant, right? And if you're familiar to New York, you're probably familiar with Carmine's. There's one in Times Square. I think they have a couple of locations, but there's one in Times Square and there's one in the Tropicana Casino. Should tell you the quality of the restaurant. It is good. Honestly, I've been to Carmine's before. It's good. I like Carmine. It's not, you know, people like Olive Garden. I like Carmine's.
I was gonna say it's like an upscale Olive Garden.
It is an upscale. It's better than Olive Garden, and Olive Garden's not bad. I don't hate Olive Garden. I'm not one of these pretentious people of like, ugh. It's like, that's food. It's fine. Who cares? It's not Burger King, you know. So I'm sitting there or whatever, and people have been coming up to me being like, I can't believe I get to meet the star of the show. And I'm like, oh, thanks. And people were going, we liked you so much. And I was like, well, the other comics were good too. And they're like, no, we liked you better because you weren't making fun of everybody. I was like, all right, well, thanks. I really appreciate that. But those guys were great. One of the other comics was hanging out with us, and I was talking him up, and I was like, you guys should sign this guy. He's really funny. He's a good looking guy. He's really tall and handsome and funny. It's like, he should be on your roster too. So anyway, so at one point in time, just me and one of the people, we'll call them the talent people, are just sitting there at the slot machines. And this guy comes up with this big bag of Carmine's leftovers, right? And he comes walking straight up to me and he goes, yo, you want some bread? And I'm like, I look up because I'm like hitting the button for the thing or whatever. I was like, no, man, I'm good. I don't want to. I looked in his bag and there's just all this food, like a half-eaten loaf of bread. And I was like, no, man, I don't want any bread. He's like, come on, man, just take some fucking bread from me, man. And I was like, what is it? And I looked in the guy's eyes, and the guy was clearly on drugs.
Okay.
And I had no idea what drugs. Yeah. I knew it wasn't weed because he didn't have like the dopey, like, you know, like half-baked sort of look or whatever. I knew it was some form of powder, you know. And for as much weed as I've ever smoked, beer as I've ever drank, mushrooms as I've ever done, I'm not a hard drug user. I've never done heroin, never done cocaine, like at least in that capacity. When I was in high school, I smoked it on top of weed, you know, but that was about it. That was like, but it was stupid, you know what I mean? And it's like, my dad died, my uncle, my sister, they all died of like drugs. So I wanted to stay away from it. I shouldn't even be like really drinking.
Yeah.
I got a cousin of mine. His dad was an alcoholic, but his dad's been sober for like 30 years. But my cousin's never touched alcohol once, never touched a cigarette, never touched a drug ever. He's a great guy. Great guy. Great guy, great family. Love him to death.
Confuses me how people can do that.
I'm envious.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm jealous of it for sure that you're so happy.
Yeah.
He's not even like a happy guy. He's just like he's just like anybody else, but he just doesn't need to create this desire of relief in his head for that only drugs will solve.
I bet he's a very even keeled guy.
Super even keeled, very soft spoken, and I'm sure at this point he could probably kick my ass. I don't know. I'm pretty out of shape. I haven't seen him in a while, but he's a burly dude, and he's a great guy. I love him to death, and but anyways, and most of my cousins like were had alcohol, like some alcohol issues or whatever, but for the most part they're all very even keeled people. We've all kind of learned from seeing our parents. Like my uncle lost his first family, because he quit drinking. Now he drinks like, I think like it's been 30 years. He drinks like a beer or two on the weekends, that sort of thing. He's not like getting drunk before work. That sort of shit. But anyways, so I can tell this guy's on drugs and he's trying to give me this bread. And I go, I don't want your bread, man. And he turns to one of the talent people and he goes, you want some of this bread? And he's got a woman with him, a rough looking woman. And he's a skinny guy. And the talent person goes, no, she goes, no. And they jokingly go, I'm on crystal meth. Right. And the guy goes, oh, for real? He goes, I got Coke. You want Coke? And then the talent person goes, yeah, I'll buy some Coke from you.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So they did a Coke deal.
Yeah.
Like right there on the casino floor. And the drug guy is like, he's like, what you want? Like, a bump or 10 or 50 or 100 or whatever.
Yeah.
And the talent person's like, here's 100. They bought like $100 worth of cocaine from them.
Nice.
So we're hanging out and everybody goes up to they got a suite for the weekend or for the night. We go up to their hotel room and they're all doing Coke. And I'm just like drinking a Heineken. Or a Yingling or whatever it was I was drinking. And the guy brought a weed vaporizer. So I was doing his vaporizer. And then after, we first got up to the room, it's like 1 a.m. and I lost $20 in the slots. I'm not really interested in like spending any more money. And after a while, everybody's having a conversation and it's not like an annoying cocaine conversation. I've been around drugs my whole life. And I'm not proud of that fact. I always have been super envious of like my friends who had access to higher level living. Upper class living or upper middle class living, and their parents didn't do drugs. My mom never did drugs. I've never even seen my mom drunk, but my dad sure did. That side of the family was all about it, And then you get to be a bad kid. You're hanging around drug dealers or people who do drugs. You get into drugs a little bit yourself. I joined the military, and then ever since then, it's just been like, At worst, when I lived in South Carolina, I lived in a party town. I was drinking a lot. But it was like social. I never drank like alone in my room. It would usually be me wearing a suit, going to a nice bar after work, having a couple cocktails. That sort of thing. And then or like meeting up with my friends at the beach. Or partying after a show or something like that. I never did coke, nothing like that. But in the entertainment business, most everybody is on drugs.
I mean, it's all over the place. I mean,
it's all over. I don't want to say most everybody because I don't want to create huge swaths of.
There's a lot of sober people too.
There are a lot of sober, and there's
more and more.
In fact, there are a lot more sober people now than there used to be.
Yeah.
Which I appreciate and respect. It's kind of nice because there's sometimes I go out and I just don't want to drink, and there isn't the pressure anymore of being like, no, come on, drink. Also, like most people I hang out with are older now. They're over 40, so they're not like drink loser. You know, it's like, okay, cool. You don't want to drink, you don't want to drink.
I wonder if you feel like, and this is just a thought I just had, but do you think that there were more working comedians before? Not that people aren't working now, but I feel like a lot of comedians who are working comedians aren't paying their full bills. So they have day job. They have to be more responsible in their lives. Whereas maybe before, when that was more prevalent, there were more there were less comedians overall, and more of them were just doing that.
Yeah.
And so they could fuck around during the day. Like it didn't matter if you were hung. Like the lifestyle was to stay up till like 4 a.m., sleep till noon or 2,
Right.
go to your spots all over the city, and then stay up all night.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think that's the case as much anymore.
sure, yeah.
Yeah. I think which is good and bad. I think it's kind of bad. I like people who can live on the edge. I think they make
Yeah.
great art and stuff like that. And there are some people who still do it. You know what I mean? But like there's one comic I know who also got very fat during the pandemic, who I know for a fact sleeps till noon every day because they're on McDougal Street till 4 a.m.
Yeah.
every night, and they can live that life and that's their lifestyle. I'm happy for them.
Yeah.
I can't do that anymore. I can stay out till 4 as long as I'm not drinking.
Yeah.
And once I start drinking, or if somebody has like a joint, I don't even hit the joint. I don't like weed like that as much anymore. But once I start drinking, it's like, all right, I'm tired. I'm ready to go home. And the other problem with it too is like I'll have a couple of drinks, and I might have had dinner at 6 or 7 o'clock. Now it's 2 a.m.
Yeah.
I'm hungry.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna stop at one of New York's thousands of 24-hour bodegas.
Yes.
And get a whole hoagie and a bag of chips and a little Debbie, and then eat that before I sleep for 7 or 8 hours.
That's so funny, yeah.
And you just get, even with working out, you just get fat. And I was listening to the timestamps for last week, and I'm like, I can hear my fat breath through. Like I'm like, I sound like I'm on a fucking CPAP machine. And so I'm just over it now. I'm just over it. And I hurt my shoulder somehow last week working out.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I purposefully did light weights so that I could prevent an injury.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I ran through the workout so quick that it strained this shoulder.
Yeah.
And last night after a spot, I went over to this is what I love about New York. I did a spot, and then late at night I went and got a massage.
Damn.
I got a chair massage, and I had this little Asian guy just dig into my shoulder with his elbows.
Yeah.
And he found a knot in this part of my neck that I didn't even know I had. And it hurt so much when he was doing it that I could feel it releasing the tension in my brain.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. And now my arm feels 50% better than it did before. And like today I was going to work out, but I was like, I need to give it another break because like, I don't want to re-injure it.
Yeah, of course.
All that to say is like, that is why I'm going to the doctor tomorrow is because I have just got so out of shape and I'm so uncomfortable with my fatness that I need to figure something out. And it's so easy to go, well, I need to improve my sleep hygiene. Right, which is like, don't look at your phone before you go to sleep. Yeah, don't look at your phone. Even though every night I'm on TikTok, just like, and then I put my headphones in my ears and fall asleep listening to podcasts.
Yeah, I sleep with stuff too.
I gotta stop doing that.
It's bad.
It is bad. And then, which could have been why I had a dream about a forbidden love with a Vietnamese lady.
Yeah, what are you listening to?
I don't know. What was it last night? I was listening to like sports. I was listening to like football.
Interesting.
Not eating like within an hour before you go to sleep.
Yeah.
Like just a myriad of issues. Eat less. I could create an instant 1,000-calorie deficit a day.
For sure.
Just by cutting out some very easy things that I know I do wrong. And it's hard to when you're in this business. Sometimes it makes me go like, man, do I really enjoy doing this so much that it might cost me my health?
Interesting. You're doing what, the business or
yeah. Just like I don't mind other people doing drugs.
Yeah.
And it was fun hanging out with other people doing drugs in a hotel room. And
yeah,
I took a picture of them doing drugs, and I sent it to my buddy who does drugs, and I was like, "Hey, thinking of you."
That's funny. I like that.
And he texted me back right away. He's like, "I wish I was there." And uh and one of my good friends, one of my close friends, who is a musician and sometimes comic, was all about partying for a long time.
Yeah.
And then he's kind of calmed down into his 40s and whatnot. But and I don't mind being around it. And it's for other people to choose their lifestyle or whatever. But just even being like, I'm up late and I'm eating late and I need to change my habits.
Yeah.
I don't need to go to the doctor for that sort of thing, but I am worried about some of the effects that this lifestyle has had on me over the years. Like sometimes I'll eat something and it feels like I have like a piece, like a hot coal in my chest. That can't be good.
Like a sharp pain.
It's not sharp. No, it's like a burning.
Oh, interesting.
It's like a burning feeling, like in my heart. And I don't think that's good.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah. So
it doesn't scare the shit. I don't go to the doctor for the same reason. I've had drug, alcohol, I've done all this stuff, fat, whatever. But it scares the shit to me to go. It scares the shit out of me to go to the doctor because I'm like, I mean, I guess you need to know. I mean, that's the adult thing to do is find out and fix it. But it does. Do you think if you found out some like what do you think the information that you got, if it was bad, would lead you to correct your behavior, or do you think you just kind of eventually ignore it?
No, I would immediately. I want to correct it before I even get the bad information.
Of course.
Yeah, honestly. So like that night after I left their hotel room, I was hungry because I hit the guy's weed vaporizer, which I regretted doing.
Because it made you hungry, or just
it made me hungry, and it was also kind of like I just get tired.
Yeah,
smoking weed like that. You know, I'm already tired. I didn't really need to hit it. I'd already had beer, which is empty calories. You know, and when you walk through the Tropicana, there's like a pizza place that's open probably till 4 a.m, probably till like people clear out. And I was like, man, I could get a whole fucking pizza right now.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I skipped it. I just went to my room. I got a little like mini can of Pringles.
Nice.
I just had some Pringles and watched Invincible on my phone. This cartoon on Amazon.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Vince Papale.
No. I went to sleep, and then the next day I woke up. We had reservations for breakfast. The club was paying for breakfast for us the next day. But my buddy who stayed with them, the other comic on the show, he had texted me before I even woke up. He texted me like 15 minutes before I woke up. He was like, I was up all night with them.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I remember closing the hotel, the door to their suite, because I left him there, and I was like, you guys have fun, because I have no idea what's going to happen next. And I thought I was going to wake up to a text like, hey, I'm in jail or something like that. But thankfully, he said it was actually pretty mild. Everybody just stayed up talking. They went back down to the casino floor. I hope they had fun. But he texted me. He was like, do you want to get breakfast? And I was like, honestly, no, let's just get out of here. And I had to drive him to Newark Airport anyways. I told him I'd give him a ride on my way back to the city. And so I took him there, and he's younger. He can still handle this sort of thing, but he was even looking pretty rough.
Yeah.
And I ate very minimally on Sunday as a result of that. And I had dinner with my wife that night. And even like that day and the next day, I even felt the after effects of staying up late from that.
Interesting.
Yeah. So it's like, it's clear, like from what I've read, as humans, their bodies don't age. They age gradually, of course, but they also age in bursts as well. Right. So like around your mid 40s, you hit like a very big degradation point in your body.
Oh, I'll tell you that.
It's just, I've noticed it. I've noticed it with my friends and stuff like that. It's like all of a sudden it really hits you, and then it hits you again like in your late 60s. Because I'm looking at, like, I watch a lot of weightlifting tutorials on YouTube, you know, and it's a lot of Mike Mentzer.
I love Dr. Mike. No, Mike Menzer.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about Dr. Mike.
Dr. Mike's proven to been he's got a whole thing going on. But I do like Dr. Mike Israel. Yeah.
Dr. Mike Israel. Yeah,
Yeah.
I watched some of his stuff.
Yeah.
But I watched a lot of old classic
Yeah,
Arnold.
Mike
Arnold.
Menzer's a
Mike.
G. Yeah.
Yeah. Mike Menzer stuff and Arnold stuff.
Yeah.
You look at Arnold Schwarzenegger. Arnold Schwarzenegger, around the pumping iron era, was like the ultimate physique a man could have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think he's like 6'5", 6'4", 6'5",
6'5", yeah.
6'4", 6'5", completely flat, svelte stomach, but big pecs, big arms, big shoulders. Everything was very proportionate and everything like that. And you look at him now, and he's a frail old man now. Actually, he's not frail. For an 80-year-old guy, he looks great still.
Yeah.
But no matter what you look like, unless you can maintain that, which he couldn't because he was on steroids.
Yeah.
It's very difficult to like maintain that composure. You're going to like die. You're just going to eventually it's going to catch up with you.
Look at Ronnie Coleman. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ronnie Coleman overtrained.
Yeah. I mean, he was, everyone says there's no need for him to be training the way he was.
Right. Arnold overtrained.
Yeah.
Listen to Arnold talk about he's like, oh, I do 5 sets of this, 5 sets of that, 5 sets of this. And that's just the morning. And he goes, and I go back in the afternoon, but it's like, well, you're doing steroids, so your recovery is different.
Yeah, exactly. It makes sense why you like Mike Menzer.
Yeah.
Because he was an advocate for like these short bursts of training, like get everything done in like 30 minutes, right?
Not only that, but it was only like he only worked out each body part once.
Like once a week
a week. And then he was very scientific about it.
Yeah, super.
And it's all about nutrition, sleep, creating a calorie deficit. And the dude was jacked.
Yeah, huge.
He was bigger. He probably actually should have won the 1980 Mr. Olympia based on his physique because he had bigger arms than Arnold, but he also had that svelte stomach and he was just jacked or whatever. Billy. Sorry. Billy, come here. Sorry, that's my dog. Anyways, so I'm looking like long term because my wife and I, when she's not so busy doing, saving the educational system, we like to go hiking and stuff and be outdoors and do outdoorsy things. And I want to be able to do that into old age. I don't want to die. I don't want to leave her alone. I don't want to saddle her with like all my burdens.
Yeah.
So I'm very concerned about that. So I'm going, this is probably the antithesis to what people want to hear of from a comedian nowadays. People probably want to hear some debauchery or whatever, but it's like, I'm not that guy anymore,
You can't. Yeah. I was going to say, yeah, you can't. I mean, the older I get the older I get that I think about being, well, when you're younger, the idea that you're going to be 55, 60, 70, 80 is like not a reality.
Yeah.
You're just like, nah, I'll never be old.
I heard that a couple of years ago, I heard this thing that like Dom Irrera. Do you know Dom Irrera?
Of course, yeah.
Great comic.
Amazing.
Super funny guy, but even into like his 50s, he was like waking up at noon and eating a calzone at 2 a.m. or whatever.
You can tell, yeah.
And now if you see him now, it's like he needs help getting on stage.
He's one of the ones where you see it now and it's kind of sad because he's such a vibrant, big personality. He's still quick, witted, but his body is not held up.
Yeah, and I'm worried about becoming that without even like engaging in all of the worst behavior.
Yeah,
so that's a big concern for me. All that to say is that the gateway drug for everybody to do cocaine was somebody offering me gluten.
Someone was like, yeah, I know what this guy like.
Yeah.
Bread.
I know the entryway into selling this cocaine I have on me is to offer the fattest guy here.
That's crazy to come offer you bread while you're at the slot machine.
Well, he was on coke.
At no point in I used to be a huge cokehead, and that's just like, I mean, he's probably drunk too.
Yeah,
of course, yeah, that's true.
And him and his girlfriend were that type of couple where they were threatening violence against each other, but like in a really jokey way. I'm gonna beat the shit out of you, bitch. And she's like, whatever, I'll fuck you up. And they laugh about it, and I was like,
they fight.
All right.
Yeah, they fight for real.
Oh, they probably throw blows for real. There'd probably be a very difficult custody battle over.
Was she like? Do you think she could kick his ass? Were they like
Yeah,
the same size?
he was skinny.
Yeah.
He was skinny.
It's always like that.
He was skinny, and she looked either Puerto Rican or Italian. And she was like, she looked like she could throw.
A skinny man versus a Puerto Rican woman is an even fight.
Yeah, absolutely. So, the voice thing from last week that's slightly carried over through the weekend. Today's the first day where I feel like I'm at like about 85% of my voice. Sound better, but I couldn't do an audition this weekend because I had to affect I had to affect an accent, and you could barely hear me as it were. And so that it kind of cost me another commercial opportunity. Oh, wow. So this one commercial cost me another commercial. I cost me the commercial. I think other actors would have just like drank some hot water and lemon and then not talked for a few days. But my income is predicated on me talking.
Yeah, of course.
So I have to talk,
Did you do anything for your voice? Did you do the tea and all that stuff, or did you just ignore it?
I got some natural lozenges from, Amazon.
Yeah.
And then had some Halls, and then then I just bathed my vocal cords in caffeine and
yeah, all the worst possible.
Yeah, and had 2 beers on Saturday, and I had a vodka Sprite too, which couldn't have been good for it either, But I was like I was on one after that show because I thought for sure that the talent people who came to see me were going to be like, oh, we really made a mistake.
Yeah.
But they were completely cool. I've been talking to them this week. They're trying to do some stuff for me. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, we'll see. But my joke that didn't work this week, and I tried it on Saturday. I texted it to a couple people. I texted it to you one day. I did a commercial for Jell-O. So to get into character, I've been telling black people to pull their pants up. Which, if you're a Cosby guy, that joke was hilarious.
Yeah.
I had a lot of people write me back and be like, yeah, I couldn't repeat that one out loud. And I asked people, I was like, is this racist? And they're like, no, it's about Cosby.
Yeah.
It's really about him and his issues, not so much about me. And I tried it in Atlantic City, and they did not like it. They didn't get it. One of the other comics on the show, who's an accomplished comic in their own right, was like, can I give you some feedback? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, they don't understand the reference.
I was just going to say, I think it's more dated than it is racist.
Right.
Or they just don't, we're comics. Like, if that, I didn't have to think about that.
Right. Yeah. That's what we both conceded. So I didn't do it on the second show. But it was like I kind of opened up. Well, I opened up with like I caught whatever throat herpes RFK gave me or something. I was making out with RFK or something like that because I did sound like RFK.
When you were on the way out, you said something about that. And I was like, oh, you did. He sounds exactly like RFK.
Yeah, I should have addressed that on the pod last week, but yeah, that joke did.
What was the audience's reaction? Just silence? Did you get
just stares, just staring at me like I'm the biggest moron in the world?
That's the best.
They're not wrong. It's funny. I just as we sat down, I got offered a gig at the end of April, and it's this guy. I'm taking it because I need the money.
Yeah,
but this guy, he's a producer of stuff in the tri-state area.
Okay,
we'll say like New York, Connecticut, Jersey. Mm-hmm. That's kind of tri-state. That's 3 states. They all touch. That's a tri-state. You can include Pennsylvania in there too.
It's
I think a lot of people
a tri-state area.
Yeah. It's really actually, I think Connecticut, Pennsylvania, New York is like whatever. It doesn't matter. Anyways, and this guy, he's a producer. I reached out to him last month because I hadn't heard from him in a while. He books gigs in the area. Ish hooked me up with them. Okay. And the last gig I did for him, he told me, he was like, hey, I need you to be like kind of clean. And I was like, okay, yeah, no problem or whatever. I'll do, clean stuff. He's like, do 45 clean. I was like, well, he's like, it's for like the Cub Scouts. And I was like, are there going to be Cub Scouts there? And he's like, no, it's for like a fundraiser or whatever. And I was like, PG-13 work. And he's like, that's cool. I was like, okay, yeah, no problem. You know, first comic goes up, this big fat guy, and he starts swearing right off the top. He just starts swearing. He's like, yeah, fuck this and fuck that. And I was like, well, what do I need to worry about being clean for, you know?
Uh-huh.
So I have a piece of paper, and it's a bad look for me, I guess. Because somebody else mentioned it before. I put it up on, it's a set list basically. And so I don't forget my jokes.
Yeah.
And I need to stop doing it, but it's like, I have like a set of clean jokes, my normal jokes, new jokes. I have like 3 different set lists that I kind of carry around with me. So I reached out to this guy. I was like, hey, you got any more gigs coming up this spring? I'm in town. I'm not really on the road. If you need anything. He goes, yeah, just as long as you don't bring notes on stage. He's like, I was really surprised by that. And I was like, I wrote back. I've learned over the years, because over the years, I've had interactions with comedy people where I've been very defensive.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be like, well, it wasn't notes. It was just a set list, and it's pretty common or whatever. But, you know, I think this guy is really thinking like, well, I'm putting on like a show for these people, and they want it to, he wants to create this like kind of veneer of something or whatever. So I just wrote back and I was like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
You
know
know
what else are you gonna say?
Yeah.
What's the point of going back and forth?
Yeah, what is the point? Because like if I defend myself, then he's just gonna go, well, I don't need to work with you at all.
Yeah.
And I need the money more than I need to have the pride at this point.
Yeah. You're not gonna convince him either.
It's not the opposite of, I will name this club in quotes, of an interaction that I had with this place called the Tiny Cupboard.
Oh, nice.
In New York City. And
I like this.
So the Tiny Cupboard started off during the pandemic. It's a comedy club out in Bushwick. It's run by a couple. I think they're a couple.
Yeah,
I think they're dating
so.
or whatever. And honestly, they when during the pandemic, they had a rooftop venue in Bushwick. Very unsafe.
Yeah, insane to get up there.
It was insane to get up there. You had to walk.
Yeah.
You had to walk up interior of this building. You had to walk up 4 flights of stairs. Then you had to walk on a wrought iron fire escape up to the top of the roof. The roof had I think there was one fence.
It was like a chain link fence around
It was a chain link fence just on the one side facing the streets. On the other sides and on the back, no fence anywhere.
Yeah.
And they were serving alcohol up there. I don't think liquor, but they were definitely doing beer and wine. I don't know if you needed a license for that, but I do remember them telling me like, yeah, we're going to try and turn this into a club and get our liquor license. And I was like, that's a bad idea. I was like, don't get the government involved in this. They're going to shut you down.
Yeah.
You know?
Especially the rooftop thing.
Rooftop thing. So I go there a lot because that was like a hangout spot during the pandemic, because it was outdoors, never ratted them out. There would be like electrical wires, you know, through a puddle on the roof.
Yeah.
You know, one time I went out there to do a spot and I was supposed to close out the show and it started to rain. I didn't get to do my spot and they didn't pay me for it either. And I was like, well, I came all the way out here. And they're like, well, you can just do this next show. And I went to the producer of this next show and I was like, hey, they told me I could jump on this show. And the producer goes, no.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, okay, I'm out of here. And despite all that, I would still come in and hang out their venue. I would never disparage them or anything like that. They finally got a room inside of the building and they fixed it up to look like a pretty decent space.
Yeah.
And they run, this couple, from what I've been told, allegedly run Airbnbs, and they allegedly incentivize the customers of the Airbnbs to come to the shows. And that's how you end up with like a lot of tourists and whatnot. And so I was there like pretty regularly, you know, and I was doing their shows. I'd been doing the ones for free. They started to pay out, and every now and again it would be like $7 here, $8 there. You get a Venmo or whatever. Doesn't even really barely covers the cost of the train
Yeah.
to get out there. It was an hour and 15 minutes one way if I
Yes.
took the train. I usually drove and then had to find parking, which was its own thing, whatever. So I was doing all right. And I was, some shows would be better than others. And then I noticed that I didn't get the avails in the mail one day. And I reached out to them because they would usually just DM me on Instagram.
Yeah.
And I hit them back and I was like, hey, I just want to let you know, I didn't get the avails this month. And our friend Dan Wicks had said that, yeah, if you forget to fill the avails out 1 month, they just take you off. And because that happened to him. And so he said, just DM them and they'll put you back on. So I DM them. I say, hey, I didn't get your avails this month. Just want to let you know I'm interested in coming back. Sorry, my bad. I must have forgot to fill it out. They wrote back, oh no, it was purposeful. We took you off because we can't platform a joke that you've been telling. And this is where I did get defensive. And they specifically said what joke it was. All right. And I'll tell the joke now because it's on my special.
Okay.
I've already burned it. It doesn't matter. But the joke goes, the joke is, I think stereotypes are terrible, even when they're said by the people they're affected by. I had an Asian buddy of mine. He told me recently that all Asian dudes have small dicks. And I was like, that's an unfortunate stereotype. In a weird way for me to find out I'm Asian.
Yeah.
Right? And the Asian in question was Peter Wong. He said it at a show we did in the Lower East Side one time. I riffed off of it at a show. That's how I came up with the joke.
Yeah.
Right? So one of the club owners of the Tiny Cupboard is an Asian lady.
Yeah.
And specifically said you can't tell that Asian joke. Now, instead of me going, because this also happens to Asian comics. I reached out to a lot of my friends who are Asian in the community and said, hey, has this ever happened to you? Wilfred Padua, Jason Choi, Pranav Bahari, I think Victor Tran. All these people have been like, yeah, I've been unbooked or banned from there from me telling Asian jokes.
Oh, wow.
Right? Now, Pranav he's South Asian or whatever the Indians are. Whatever part of like, I mean that whole.
It's Asia. Yeah.
Okay, I'm North American.
Yeah, I guess.
Sure, yeah. I'm Pangeatic. I'm a Pangesian.
Sorry, Oriental.
Yeah. It's just it is just a dumb. In my opinion, it's dumb or whatever. But he goes, yeah, but I just stopped telling the joke, and they had me back. And I sat there and I thought about it and I was like, is the $7 worth this headache anymore? It wasn't even a headache, but it was just like, I wrote back and I was like, hey, you're smart. You can understand that this is not a joke against Asian people. I'm subverting the racist trope and making myself the butt of this joke.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm flipping the power dynamic. So the powerful white man, am the butt of the joke. And they wrote back, yeah, we understand it. We're not stupid. And they're speaking in we, but I know which one I'm talking to.
Yeah.
And I said, did anybody complain about the joke? They said no. I said, do you find it offensive? No. Do you concede that as a smart joke? Yes. In spite of all of that, we can't have you at our club. And now I said, and then I was like, look, I talked you guys up. I did all your free shows. I never bitched about money. I never complained about getting rained out. I never complained about you guys booking me to drive all the way over there. And all of a sudden my 10-minute spot gets turned into a 7-minute spot or a 5-minute spot because you fucked up the lineup or something like that. I've been an advocate for you. I put my life in danger by being on that goddamn roof. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And you're going to not even pull me aside to have a conversation with me face to face. You're going to do some passive aggressive shit or whatever. And they said, they're like, oh, there's a lot of hard feelings in this conversation. we can send you the avails again if you like. And I just never responded back.
Yeah.
And I think it would have came with like, but you can't tell the joke. And honestly, I don't need to tell the joke anymore. I've told it for years. But the principle of the matter was,
It's really not that crazy of a joke.
it's not.
It's super tame.
There's way more
it's not
offensive
that crazy.
things.
Yeah, it's very
Right.
down the middle Asian joke. Like it's not
right. And that club, also, speaking of my buddy Wilfred, that club, there's a woman who was offended by one of Wilfred's jokes. They gave this woman his email address.
the fuck.
Straight up, like, hey, like you deal with it, sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
One time when I went in there, I was on a show, a girl passed, and the place was overcrowded, and a girl passed out in the entryway vestibule from like, she had too many edibles and alcohol, and she just like fell out, right? And the other club owner, Matt, was at the terminal.
Yeah.
And I go, hey man, some girl like passed out right here. And he goes, I can't deal with that. You deal with it. I'm like,
what?
I don't work here.
That's like a foot away also.
Yes.
He's like, it's like right there. It's
yeah. I was like, I'm not helping this bitch.
yeah.
I don't know her.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And she did this to herself. It's not like she was like assaulted by some ghost or something. She got her friends here. They can handle this. I'm not doing your job. And for you to be like, I'm too busy to help somebody who's having like a medical emergency in my club, from maybe even you like over serving them.
Yeah. Why would you?
Is crazy. And a lot of other comics have had trouble with these guys or like issues. I know you've probably heard about it.
Well, I got here during the pandemic when they opened, so that I didn't know how early it had been. But in as far as I know, their reputation and stuff like that has only gotten worse as far as I've known them. Like since the pandemic, since I became aware of them and they opened, I guess it was like almost the exact same time until I got to New York. I just hear more and more stories like that.
Yeah.
And the positivity about that place is not. I like to think that here at Grove, like our reputation is going up, and I feel like Tiny is like the opposite. Like I only hear more stories like that.
Yeah, for sure, it's going up. It's I mean, I can see the improvements. I mean, it helps that like I'm in proximity to you guys, and listen, and this isn't to say a lot of people have had success with a tiny cupboard.
Yeah,
a lot of my friends still perform there.
Yeah,
I don't wish them any ill will. I hope they keep their club running. I hope it's successful. I don't need to perform there. There are a lot of places I don't perform at.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
You're
like
a comedy shop guy.
Yeah, I'm a comedy shop guy. I'm in the grab by the pussy crew.
Yeah.
No, but like, and this is such small comedy.
Yeah,
beef.
exactly. It's nonsense.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not even like really a beef, but it's more of an illustration of like, nowadays, if like one of the clubs I work at normally now, were to say to me, we we can't have you like doing this or that, I'd be like, okay. Yeah. Well, if it's one of the clubs that pays me enough money to have to file taxes for it, absolutely.
Of course.
Yeah. I'm not a big enough draw that I can deny the the money making aspect of this. You know what I mean? I'm not Andrew Dice Clay, you know what I mean? Like who has a specific audience that comes for that sort of thing. So I don't wanna ruffle any feathers in that regard. But my pride about this stuff has kind of like gone down. It's measured, I guess.
Well, you get older and you realize it's a job, I feel like too. I mean, we have it with production stuff. I was talking to Lex and he made a thing and Amy Schumer saw it and like followed him and like complimented like part of the production thing. And we were on the phone and he was excited. He was telling me about it. And it was my first response was like, it's so funny how fast we'd compromise. Like, because if you would ask me before that, like, Amy, you want to do something with Schumer? I'd be like, no, fuck no, not it. Right. But then it's like, oh no, it's a real possibility. Oh yes, Miss Schumer. Yes. Ma'am.
Oh, that's and it's every
like, of course
time.
It'd make your fucking career.
Every time.
And then it's like, yeah, I understand how everything works now.
Oh yeah. Every time somebody has an opportunity like that, that's presented to them by somebody who is, diametrically at odds with their ideology, they immediately compromise.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is people's dream. Not only is it a career, but it's your dream.
Right.
It's the
Yeah.
thing. It's not just it's not like doing it at a fucking, a day job. You're working at a restaurant and someone's asking you to and you're like, fuck you, I'll leave.
Yeah.
This is like the thing you wanted to do your whole life.
Right. I made a joke before and it didn't go well on Instagram, but it was like, now that I'm getting older and like, I'm, money is getting worse and worse for everybody. It's like I don't have the pride anymore to say no to certain things.
Yeah.
So it's like, next you will see me in an advertisement for like, yes, come to Epstein's Island. It's awesome. It's great food.
Yeah.
It's like one of those things where unless I don't know. There was one recently that came up. I told my wife I would not do it, and she was like kind of upset about it. But it was like, it's a product. It was like a product that it was like, oh, it was crypto.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I don't. It seems fake money. I'm not like
it's
the
a
money
complicated
after
situation.
taxes and stuff like that wasn't worth it to be forever associated with what might go down in history as a scam.
I won't even get started on this rabbit hole this close to the end of the episode, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of crypto nonsense going on.
Same.
But that's good that you turned it down. You had some sense of
some pride.
Yeah.
Well, there's some integrity. Like I wouldn't do a commercial right now for certain governments. If said government was like, oh, we need you to really help us out with our tourism, I wouldn't be like, nah.
They're paying people. Certain governments were paying people like $7,000 a post or whatever.
Are they really?
This is from what I know news wise. Is they recruited a bunch of influencers months ago before the Iran thing popped off to help with their PR because of the country next to them. Yeah. Help with their PR. Sure. And it was $7,000 was like the thing they were paying, and then they ended up not paying anybody or getting behind on it.
That's neither here nor there. Yeah. Well, it is
just a thing to look up.
Going back, 6 months to the Riyadh situation,
yeah,
or whenever that was. It's like, man, a lot of those guys have enough money.
How do you feel about that? How do you feel about the people that did it? Because I'll preface it with just being like, I think some of the people who like Mark Norman, who've never said anything about anything, they go up, they say queef fart, and they make witty one-liners. Didn't catch really any flack because nobody, whatever. But then you have the comedians like Burr, Whitney, who literally are quoted saying, like, talking about people performing for those exact people, and now they're just trying to justify it.
Right.
Then you have people in the middle like Louis, who've kind of pretending like they're there for free speech.
Yeah. Or Dave Chappelle or whatever.
Dave Chappelle's joke about it was an obfuscate. It was a whataboutism. Everyone acts like it was the greatest response, but he really didn't address it. He just said, "Well, these guys are doing it too," and it's like, okay.
Right. He completely deflected from like what the situation
he's also
was.
Chappelle, like he's not out there. Like
right. Well, I mean, you shouldn't expect principles from comedians, anyways.
Fair, yeah.
Sure. But actually, I shot a sketch here. With some very talented comics, Katie Hannigan, Sarah Talamash, and Renan Hirschberg was in it. And Renan and I were talking about it. And he said, and Renan, I think, is friends with some of those guys.
Yeah.
And said basically to some of these guys, it's like being the first person to do comedy on the moon. Like it's just kind of this like accomplishment where like, I'm the first person to ever do that. And my counter was, well, the moon didn't do 9/11. and it didn't. And that's a different set of circumstances.
Yeah.
So like, having principles does cost you some money, but if you don't do any research into anything and you just are concerned about the money, then go for it. I don't expect much from Mark Norman. Not to be a jerk to Mark. Mark's nice to me when I see him or whatever. He's a pleasant guy, but he's not a military officer. He's not anybody or whatever.
He's not a guy who takes a stand with his comedy.
Right. Yeah. He kind of makes fun of everybody, and Mark, from what I understand, from what I've heard from him talk about and whatnot, is like, he grew up pretty poor, and, being poor will drive you to do a lot of things for money.
Yeah.
Look at OnlyFans. Uh, and you know what? You know what's funny is somebody recommended me for an OnlyFans taping
Interesting.
after I had that whole thing about OnlyFans or Bitcoin for women, and I emailed them and they never wrote me back.
Oh wow.
And then some of these OnlyFans things dropped this week, and I looked at some of the comics who did, and I was like, "You really want content from these guys?" You know?
Yeah, but I mean, they're trying to. I honestly think that if you look at some of the comics that are doing it, it's like they're trying to fool people into thinking these people have a sex OnlyFans, because a lot of them are hot comics.
Some of them are for sure.
Well, some
I
of
mean,
them
I
are,
can see
but-
why they didn't pick me. I mean, like yeah, we don't want this fat 45-year-old, comic up on our stage, like, doing his shtick or whatever. What are we at, by the way?
Over an hour at 105.
105. All right, I want to talk about one last thing here. Sure. I saw the movie Project Hail Mary.
Okay, yeah.
Have you heard about it?
I saw a preview where what's his name is talking to like a rock thing.
I'm glad you bring that up. Ryan Gosling stars in Project Hail Mary. He's a science teacher who has to go into the solar system to look for a cure to something happening to our planet. I don't want to give away too much of the plot in case people, well, whatever. I don't think anybody's going to listen to this and be like, you ruined it for me. But like he's going to look for a cure to something that's afflicting our environment. And in the movie, he does talk to a rock, and not in like a Wilson from Castaway situation, but the rock is an alien. And I knew that going into the movie, because they showed it in the preview.
Yeah.
Right. So that's not a spoiler. But here's the thing. The movie was a really good movie. I really liked it a lot. I don't know that it's going to be like an Oscar contender. I think he should be in contention for some acting awards because for a lot of it, it is just him acting with a puppet. And they do practical effects, which was amazing.
That's cool.
The directors are Lord and Miller, who did, what did they do? They did the Lego movie, like Lego Batman. I think they did the Spider-Man animated movies. They did 21 Jump Street.
Okay.
21 Jump Street's great comedy.
Yeah, for sure.
It was one of the best comedies of the last 15 years. I love it. And I mean, that's just my own opinion. Whatever. 22 Jump Street, pretty good. Not quite 21, but 21 is great. Anyways, and the problem that we're having with movies now is that I wish they hadn't shown that aspect of it. I wish they need to redo trailers so they stop giving away the movie in the trailers.
Yeah.
And I think that's a thing. I think movie culture is kind of changing now to back to where it used to be. Because movies are expensive. To go see a movie, I took my wife and I, we got, 2 tickets to just over at the Kaufman.
Yeah.
Which they've improved the Kaufman a lot.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Kaufman has great, over here in Astoria, Queens, they have great seats now. They've really done a lot of great work to it. It was a great movie going experience. I have no complaints about it whatsoever. But 2 tickets there were, for this movie was like $45.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah, and then my wife bought a soda. It was like $11.
I was just gonna say it's like $11 for a medium, which is a bucket, but still.
Yeah. And I didn't need food or anything like that. And so we're looking at a $50 venture at least. And thankfully parking was free that day, so it was a holiday.
Yeah.
It was Eid. And so people I understandably don't necessarily want to be like, well, I'm going to spend $50 on a gamble of whether or not, and we saw a modest showing. We didn't see like an IMAX showing, and we didn't buy like a bunch of food, and we didn't have a family of 4. Yeah. For a family of 4, it's like $100-something now to go to a movie. Insane. So you want to see in the preview, like, is this movie going to be worth it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But they give away so much of the movie now in trailers, and they need to stop doing that, because I think now people who like movies are just going to go to movies. There are people who like just Marvel movies or IP movies, kids movies, you're gonna go see those movies regardless. I can't. I don't know if any of the Cars movies are good, but I know a lot of kids go to see those Cars movies.
Yeah.
And they're gonna go want to see them regardless. It's a talking car. You know what I mean? But I don't need. I would have rather they not had the alien reveal in the trailer. I would have loved to have had that been a surprise.
Yeah.
And I think they need to start selling movies again on like a guy talking, like a voiceover guy,
Yeah.
of like Ryan Gosling goes to space to save humanity. Can he do it? Find out this Friday.
Yeah.
Like in one of the classic, movie trailers was like Alien, right? And it was just they didn't show the alien.
Yeah.
And in the the tagline, in space no one can hear you scream. It created mystery, and then they delivered on it.
Well, people are stupid is the problem.
Agreed. Agreed.
But did you hear Ben Affleck and Matt Damon talking about their new movie?
Yeah.
So that's what I think it is with trailers, where it's like they have to give you the whole movie or no one's gonna go see it.
I hate that though.
Yeah.
And their movie was on Netflix.
And it was apparently they were complaining about how it's all exposition. Like they just constantly like verbalize the plot and what exactly is happening literally.
Yeah.
Over and over again.
Yeah, because people need to
They're on their phone.
Yeah, they're on their phone. They're only so what companies are doing, they want you to be on 3 screens at any given time.
Jeez.
Your phone, your laptop, and your TV. They don't want you doing just one thing. And I've kind of batted around the idea with my wife is we only pay for one streaming service. Now my mom and dad, I'm sorry?
I said wow.
Amazon. Because we order stuff.
Yeah.
Through it. You know what I mean? But I'm debating about getting rid of it because I don't want to order stuff from Amazon anymore.
Yeah.
And then also I think I'm done with streaming. Because I got Disney to watch something that was on Disney. It was only available on Disney. And then I'm scrolling through Disney. I'm like, I've seen all these movies though already. Yeah. And I don't want to watch a cartoon just to watch it just because I paid for this thing.
Yeah.
And Disney for a month is like $20. So that's how much it is to go see a movie. So it's like I can justify like paying for it. But then after that, if the movie wasn't even satisfactory, you're like, well, why didn't I just go see this in the theater? It's a different experience then. There's a lot of things that kind of like factor into that. So I want to get rid of, my wife hates this idea. I want to get rid of our streaming stuff. My parents let us use their Peacock, and I think that's it.
Yeah.
And Paramount. But the only things we watch on that are sports.
Yeah, exactly.
Sports, and if you get YouTube TV, you can just watch sports regardless. And in fact, I went to go watch the St. John's game the other day because it was supposed to be on Paramount, and it was blacked out because it's in our local market.
Yeah,
which sucks. So it's like, how am I supposed to?
It's like, what's the point?
Yeah, what's the point? Anyways, all I was to say is like, I think I'm done with streaming in that capacity, and I think I just want to get a DVD Blu-ray player and just watch movies that like the quality is going to be better. You make an investment in it as a piece of art instead of everything being trivial and throwing it away.
I wonder if DVDs are going to get like vinyl records.
They already are.
Really think?
They're already getting 4K presses of like, I want a 4K press of Heat.
Oh, well, yeah.
I want a bigger TV. My wife hates that too. This is the first TV I ever bought in my life. I bought at 45 years old.
Oh, wow.
I never bought a TV in my life before. I had a hand-me-down from my parents, I think, when I was a kid. And then I had another one when I was living on my own for the first time. But I was like, but it broke and I didn't replace it. I just didn't have a TV for a long time.
Yeah.
I just read books and listened to CDs. And it was most intelligent I ever was in my life, to be honest with you.
It makes you being on 3 screens makes you. I am plugged into the internet for work, like because I edit and I have to upload stuff, and I'm just addicted.
Yeah,
but like it does make you stupider.
Yes,
it's not debatable.
Yeah. I'll be on Facebook on my laptop and then I'll open it up on my phone.
Yeah.
And it's like, what am I doing with my life?
I edit and I'll have YouTube on my TV in my office while I'm
Yeah.
editing, and I'll be checking my phone like randomly.
Yes.
And I'm like, what am I? And then you try to like write a joke, you try to be creative, and it's like all your energy and dopamine is zapped.
Yeah.
Because you've just constantly hooked up to this adrenaline, like this IV of dopamine and serotonin. Right. You're just constantly overloaded. And then like the other day I was on the way home from the gym and I had to fight to take my headphones off. I had to fight with myself to just be present.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
It's the worst.
I was like, oh, I'm addicted in a way that's like almost physical.
Yeah, it is bad. I need to go through one of those Aaron Rodgers, the football player, a darkness retreat, where I don't think it's entirely dark from according to what he said, but at least you're like cut off from. So this summer, you and I are going to have to figure this out, but my wife and I are going to Alaska and Canada.
Oh, nice.
For 3 weeks.
Amazing.
So we're going to have to bankroll a couple of episodes. I think I'm just going to have like maybe we'll bring some comics in and I'll just do some like, two person ones just so they don't have to be topical or relevant.
Yeah.
And anyways, but I want to get off the phone for,
of course,
3 weeks. And if we're doing clips or whatever, and I can just post stuff, whatever the case might be, just to like reset my brain, because I just want to be around nature.
Yeah.
I live in the biggest city in the world, and when I leave, I want to disconnect from everything.
That's great. Yeah,
you know, and reset. I felt that way in South America, even though I was getting texts in South America, and I'm like, I don't like this, to be honest with you, but whatever. Anyway, so that's my hot cultural take, is we need trailers to not give away the entire movie. It is like, you can't watch a movie anymore like you could Pulp Fiction, which like dances around with the with the plot, and the editing is clever and stuff like that, because people would be like, what is going on?
Yeah,
I have no attention span for things. We've reframed everything in our mind.
There's I have a couple friends that have good trailer rules. One of them was Derek, my business partner, will if he's watching a trailer and he's decided he's going to watch the movie, whenever in that trailer he makes that decision, he stops watching it. Because he's like, I know I'm going to watch this, I'm not going to watch the trailer.
That's good discipline for him.
Yeah, my other friend who's a comic, he just doesn't watch trailers.
Yeah,
he makes a decision he goes in blind 100% of the time, which I don't know if I could do.
I watched the trailer for the Odyssey, the new Christopher Nolan movie.
I haven't seen the trailer, but it looks, well, I guess I did.
Well, yeah. I haven't seen the trailer, but I watched it.
I know it's about, yeah. So full of shit immediately.
But they didn't. I mean, the story everybody already knows. It's the oldest story ever, aside from Jesus. It's older than Jesus, I think, but whatever. Who cares? It's also not real. Whereas Jesus
just
is.
Like Jesus. Yeah.
No, it's a Christian podcast. Thank you.
Sorry.
And but so it's not like there's a plot to give away, but he's done a good job of just showing images from it.
Yeah.
It's like Oppenheimer. You knew what the story was.
Yeah.
But how he shot it was so beautiful. And an amazing film. So I'm definitely going to go see that, you know. But and that's the kind of trailer I don't really mind. That Matt Damon, Ben Affleck movie, I watched the trailer for it and I watched the movie. I was pleased with it, but I would have watched it regardless, because all you had to be like, Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, they're playing cops, sometimes at odds with each other, and there's some stuff going down.
Yeah, I would have.
Yeah, I'm in for it.
Yeah. I haven't watched it. You know what movie? Have you seen The Bride? Have you seen a trailer?
No.
It's getting torn apart.
That's what I hear.
I wonder if that's, I heard people say they're walking out and it's too long and all this stuff. But I'm at the point now with you, I feel the same way you do about movies, where it's like, when someone's like, oh, the movie was too long, I'm like, oh, that means it's probably good. Yeah. And you're all dumb and just don't have the attention span for it.
Yeah. I've been trying to read more and stuff like that. And so like, to improve my attention span, but like, I might watch a movie this week. I might watch the movie Paris, Texas. It's an old movie. It's supposed to be great. I got to catch up on these old movies.
What are you reading? I'm
reading a book called Walkable City, and it's It's boring.
It sounds boring.
It is boring. It's about cities and urban centers that tend to thrive better if like if like you could walk within the city. It's basically an anti-car book, which I'm for.
Exactly what it sounds like. It's more of
It
a
is.
schematic.
It is. It's more of a clinical reading thing than it is like a story
I
about
support
like
that.
yeah. It's not like a bank heist 101.
Yeah, it's like a thought piece.
It is. Yeah, there's a lot of annotations and studies and stuff. But the problem is with those books is like my wife makes fun of me, but I'll read like the intro to it and I'm like, yeah, I agree with this guy already. I don't need to read this book. I don't need to read your examples of why I think like it's better to live in a city where you can walk to the grocery store instead of having to drive 30 minutes to it.
Yeah.
I don't like suburban living. I remember we moved to the suburbs. I was 17. I forget how old I was when we moved out of the city into the suburbs.
Mm-hmm.
My parents finally had a little bit of money to where we bought a better house outside the city.
Yeah.
And it was impossible to get anywhere without walking forever.
Yeah.
Like, so the walk from my house to my school was maybe like 1.5 miles or something like that. Not bad, I'd have to walk home a lot because my dad would drop me off in the morning, but I'd have to walk home. I didn't have any friends. I didn't know anybody or anything like that, Mm-hmm. Now, in 1.5 miles in the city where I grew up, you would pass tons of people. Tons of people, shops, businesses, bars, stores. In the suburbs, houses, nothing.
Yeah.
Lawnmowers, that's it. That's all you see. And I hated it.
Yeah.
I like living in this. I love my neighborhood because I could walk to wherever I need to go.
This neighborhood is the shit. It really is the best of both worlds. Because I've lived in Bushwick and Brooklyn and Manhattan, and this Queens Astoria is the shit because you get a little bit of both.
Yeah,
you get your peace and quiet, but also right down the street you can just have a busy mom and pop places. Blah blah blah.
Where I grew up in Toledo was a little bit like Queens in the sense of like, now I mean, granted, like I lived like down a side street, so it wasn't like there was a bodega on every corner like there is here. But there was a bodega within like a 5-minute walk. There was a convenience store within a 5-minute walk of where I lived, But it reminds me of Astoria in the sense of like there were no super tall buildings. Astoria, there's so much sunlight over here because there's not as many but it's also congested and there's a lot of people.
Yeah.
So I'm all about it. But yeah, so I'm reading this boring ass book called Walkable City. And the next one on my list, I don't know what it's going to be, but it's going to be something it's probably going to be something from Kurt Vonnegut. Because I like Kurt Vonnegut. Kurt Vonnegut wrote Slaughterhouse 5. Oh gosh, what is Galapagos was my intro to him. Yeah. Anyways, he's great. So, all right, we've been doing this forever, and I think we have enough. Sure. What are we at? Like 3 hours?
1:23.
Okay. So listen, check out my website. DerekHumphrey.com. I'm going to update it today. In fact, I'm going to put some dates on there. I just added Essex, Connecticut right before we started this. Just added Charleston, South Carolina, going back to Wits End. This won't come out before we're at the Cellar, but we're at the Cellar for Roast Battle this week. I'm at the Stand. Got a lot of great dates coming up, so I'm really happy. But thanks for listening.